Yes, so that's the first definition of psychology, that is a study of the soul. But because of the inability to further deep into the topic or study of the soul, though they change it to like a study of the mind. But there's also limitation when you just say study of the mind. So they put another definition as a study of consciousness. So the description and explanation of the states of consciousness is a task of psychology which usually done by the instrument of introspection and the process of looking within. So it's kind of also there's ambiguity. So then the definition was later on the study of human behavior. So this is the most common, modern, and widely accepted definition of psychology even today, is the study of behavior of both human and animals. Now, let
Okay.
us
There's
go
still
to,
an there's still a simple definitions of psychology. It is the scientific study of mind and behavior. Psychologists are actively involved in studying and understanding mental process, brain functions, and behavior. Don't forget that.
yes, Doc. So let's go
That must
through,
be included in your presentation.
yes, let's go to the definition from the different authors.
Go
Uh,
ahead.
yes. So now, according to William McDougall, psychology is the science which aims to give us ano, better understanding and control of the behavior of the organism as a whole. And
Yes.
then, according to J.B. Watson, psychology is the science of behavior, taking into account the human as well as the animal behavior.
Correct.
According to N.L. Moon, psychology is a science, and the properly trained psychologist is a scientist, and at least a practitioner who uses scientific method and information resulting from scientific investigation. According to Woodworth, psychology is the science of the activity of the individual in relation to the environment.
Environment.
According to Guilford, psychology is the uh, science and mental activity of an organism. So before we can see the best definition, let's further know what other definition, that how it is defined by the different author. Dr. R. Hum, psychology is the scientific study of the behavior of human and animals. Some are reiterated, no, their similarities. According to
Exactly, yes.
Oxford Dictionary, psychology is a study of the mind and how it works. And again, for William McDowell, I think I've said this, but same ba? Psychology is the science which aims to give us better understanding and control of behavior of the organism as a whole. Science,
Almost the same.
yeah, wait, some, somebody's calling. So next, according to your scientific encyclopedia, psychology as a science of dealing the mind, mental process, and feelings and emotion, desire, and personality traits. And next here, in some of the website, help me. Merong classmate yung daughter ko, special child, keep
Close
on
mo muna yung ano mo, close mo muna yung,
help me.
close mo muna yung, sagutin mo
Uh,
kaya muna.
Psychology is the scientific branch of science of the mind that focuses on the study of behavior and mental processes. Psychology seeks to understand how people think, feel, behave in different contexts, and it uses scientific method to investigate these phenomena. Psychologists study a wide range of topics, including perception, learning, memory, emotion, personality, motivation, social behavior, and mental health.
Okay, how do you define the word perception?
How you perceive something in your own judgment, like that. So there's subjectivity in that sense, no,
If
not
you are with somebody, do you have a different perception?
mm, in what do you mean, doc?
If you have with somebody, let's say you're two, you're A and B, and I ask you to look to a certain thing, do you have different perception or the same perception?
When you talk
Different.
about psychology, sometimes there is similar tendencies for people to perceive how they perceive something due to
Or
attribution theory. Oh, how they
perceive the same
perceive.
or perceive different?
There could be difference, but there is what you call general, no? If ever you see somebody begging, example, how do you perceive that person? Lazy ba or what? Well, sometimes we perceive it, they can work, why they beg like that? So sometimes that's how we perceive due to attribution.
So you consider two person has different perception or two
Yeah,
persons different
could
perception
be.
or the same perception?
There could be this, it could sometimes be the same, sometimes hindi. Kasi sometimes people give benefit of the doubt naman. Because he's having a hard time, he has no other avenue to make a living, that's why he asks for money. So different perception of people, how
Yes, most
they
of the time, if they judge something, the two persons have different perception most of the time. But it's a case to case basis, just the same. It might be the same or it might not be the same. Go ahead.
Sige, Doc. I think there's two more definition, then we will conclude with what's, for me, the best definition for psychology, okay?
Okay, what's your best definition?
After this, ma'am.
Oh, go
And
ahead.
here, this is also nice from Skill for Health. This is how they define psychology, that it is a scientific study of the mind and how it dictates and influence our behavior from communication and memory to thoughts and emotion. It's about understanding what makes people think and how this understanding can help us address many of the issues in the society. So to me, this is my best definition of psychology according to APA, American Psychological Association.
APA.
Psychology is the study of the mind and behavior. The discipline
Yes.
is all aspect of human experience, from conclusion of the brain to action of nation, from child development to care for the age. It's in every conceivable setting, from scientific research centers to mental health care services. The understanding of behavior is the enterprise of psychology. So, ang nice lang why I choose this as my best definition, because as we also put in our topic, no, advanced development, psychological development of human learning. So, from childhood development at to, siya lang nag-mention na ganyan eh. And that it comprise all human experience. And then, the understanding of behavior. So, that's what I choose. I don't know if you agree with me, my dear classmates, since I already enumerated the different definition of different authors and disciplines from yeah.
Ako, Miss Catherine, I agree with you that psychology is the scientific study of mind and behavior. It's 100% agree with you.
Mm. Thank you, Doc. Sige, let's move
Okay.
on to the second question, which is two main branches of psychology. So there are two main branches of psychology. One is the basic and pure psychology, which aims to discover and establish instances of universal similarity and trace their origin or development to explain their causal connections. It aims at contributing to knowledge of behavior. College, university, laboratories, and departments are the main employment setting for the basics or of psychology. When you say research, there is also basic research, no? It's more on the theory side. Yan. But there's also the second branch of main branch of psychology, which is the applied psychology or practical psychology, which aims to extend and improve the condition and phases of human life and conduct. It uses the various field of basic psychology, so yung mga theories there, to improve the quality of life of human being in various fields like school, industry, or businesses, hospitals, consultancy, and community. This is more on the practical and application. It focuses on the application of these theories in the real world, less theory-driven, and teka, natatabunan ha? Yes. Less theory-driven and more based on practical experiences. Thank you, Lord. So, there are subfields under basic pure psychology, and I think this is the report of my other classmate. If you will tell me if this is it. So sa under pure and basic psychology, this is their subfields, no, which is general psychology. Yan. More on theories and underlying concept than actual problem solving. So developmental psychology, this is an individual form, birth to old age, process and product growth development. Social psychology, this is the branch of psychology, deals with social behavior and interrelations. From the word social, no, how we interact with others, people, among themselves, and the role of social forces in governing behavior. So how the formation of attitude, how they develop intimate relationship like that leadership in terms of how he leads his subordinate. Social psychology, physiological psychology examine the influence of genetics factors on behavior. It deals with the brain, nervous system, endocrine, bodily chemicals like neurotransmitter in the regulation of behavior. Actually, neurosensory, the one we did earlier, the banding reflex, it's also a part of the physiological psychology that why we don't do it hurriedly when we do the banding reflex and all that because of the neurotransmitter. Once you press and you're in a hurry, it doesn't reach your brain. 'Cause- so there's a how do you call time frame for it to connect to your brain. So that's it. And abnormal psychology, it is the study of abnormal behavior and psychopathology. It study the models, causes, classification, diagnosis, and treatment of individual with psychological disorder. So this is all under the pure and basic psychology, no? Another subfield is that it's also part of it is experimental psychology because it's a scientific study, right? It restricts itself chiefly to laboratory research and basic psychological processes, including perception, learning, memory, thinking, motivation. Psychometric, this we always hear this, a measurement of behavior, sa mga standardized tests that is only the psychometrician is allowed to give tests for our student to assess their personality or the range of ability, which course that is good, that is in line with this person's capability or ability, involves the development of new technique for statistical analysis. So cognitive psychology also, which involves the human thoughts condition. So I will not dwell much on this because I believe it will be elaborated more in my next reporter. So
Question,
firstly,
question for you. If given the chance to choose one of the sub-field pure topic in the pure psychology, which one are you going to choose? In
wow.
one of the 10.
Mm.
Given the chance.
I think, Doc, it's nice to know about the everything, but since we need specialization, it's nice also yung personality psychology, but we still have the applied, Doc. I think I go for the applied mga psychology subfields because it's more the application side, especially in the business side, in the later. I cannot say now because I need to introduce the other sub 10 um fields of the applied psychology. There are two basic, di ba? Oh, yun.
Okay.
Sige daw. Say, the number 9 is the personality psychology, which is also good. So we
Mm.
know the how a person behave consistent. There's consistency in our own personality in how we do things, relate to people, in our behavior due to our personality, no? Na ay mga sanguine, may mga conscientious, may stability, di ba? There are different personality tests. So the area of interest is also concerned with a factor to determine the personality, mga assessment. So parapsychology, it deals with the study of extrasensory perception, mga precognition, mga sense of claim, rebirth, telepathy, and allied phenomena. So these are also the applied fields, applied psychology subfield. So the biggest field of psychology branch is clinical psychology. It means there are many cases of mental health issues due to survey and reports now. That's why this is the biggest branch of the field in the study of psychology. It deals with the application of clinical methods on the evaluation, assessment, diagnosis, and treatment of mental disorder or individual psychological disorders. So the principal activity includes yung interviewing the client, yung doing the psychological
Psychological
testing, and
testing,
providing group individual psychotherapy.
therapy.
Then second is the counseling psychology. So here it works with somewhat different clients, assisting people struggling with everyday problem, moderate to severe cases, and they often engage family, marital, or career counseling. Organizational psychology, an outgrowth of industrial psychology, deals with of psychological principles and techniques that study your. Okay, so organization psychology are those mga human resource officer. They know how to handle human behavior in the business environment. So that's why they are the conflict resolution master in how they manage human resource concerns. So it also pwede rin sa different field like sa school, hospital, yan. Educational psychology that's applied to us. Oh, that after we finish our program, we are very good na in human understanding our students' human behavior, experiences in educational environment. That is devoted to understanding the different aspect of teaching learning process. Then there's also health psychology in the field that studies the role of psychological factors in the promotion of health and prevention of illnesses. That's why it's important also to um, there's factual evidence na if you have this disease you will die within 3 to 6 months or whatever. But if you involve psychological factors na you will say, oh, put hope in it and put what do you call this? Yung mga kasi there is real example doc na the result was the other one who has cancer was told she has no cancer. And the other one who has no cancer was told that she has cancer. Nag-swap yung result. What happened? The one who died is the one without cancer. The other one who was told that she has no cancer still alive. So
Because of stress, probably stress, tension, and anxiety.
yeah, so there's psychological factors involved.
Yeah.
So health psychology is also important in how we manage our health
Behavior.
issues, no? Yes. So as a doctor, I think needs to have some positive psychology in how they deal with their patient, no? Yan. So, another applied psychology subfield is that environmental psychology. This environmental psychologist works also in school, industrial, governmental setting. They design work environment and study the effect of mga crowd pollution, air pollution, ganyan, noise. So, there's effect because some people cannot work with this kind of environment. But when there is soothing environment. Kaya learning environment is also important where you put your school, especially for students with some mga emotional, mental issues na gina-go through. I think the best is if given the chance, no, my big dream is that to have a TMI Residential Academy near nature na may falls. Kasi, falls has a very good negative ion. It gives you like, you can easily be healed with whatever illnesses you have, no, when you're near with nature, especially yung falls. Yan. Anyway, just my own experience din. Kasi when I go to falls, even I have sneezing, cough, colds, paglabas ko, I'm well na. Yes. Forensic psychology focus on those research that deals with mga legal and criminal justice system. So there are also way of interviewing a case, mga jury deliberation process, the best way to select. Parang there's a way to handle this negotiation with mga hostage takers or mga who is the murderer. They have their psychology being there yung if you talk to them frontal or may side view content, there is some psychological effect to the person being interviewed like that. Sport exercise psychology, this is the field of that applies to athletic activities. So that's why the role and of motivation in the social aspect of sports and psychological impact of training is very important. Kaya they have coaches, no, mga athlete that to motivate them to hit their goals. So naagid na sila yung mga coaches that will help them. So coaches, life coach are those applied psychology na sila na they are trained to how to help their clients achieve their goals, whether in sports or dito naman woman psychology. It discusses the psychological factors relating to women's behavior and development. So it tries to explain various issues like discrimination against women, structural differences between men and women, and the effect of hormones or behavior causes of violence against women. Then military psychology, it deals with the application of the psychological principles, techniques in the field of military psychology. And lastly is the political psychology. It deals with the application of the body of psychological knowledge in studying the art of diplomacy and driving political gains. I don't know, any comments on what I shared, like what Dr. said, which psychology branch that you want to focus into? Kung if your career is towards being in the public service, I think it's also good to study about political psychology, how you position yourself. I think why BBM won, because maybe people psychologically is already tired of being like yung mga the other side, sige, criticize. Parang they want also something like that. I don't know. So there are some psychology being ano rin dyan, niluluto nila. Anyway, so Doc,
May
I will
ask
answer.
question? Can I
Mm,
ask you a question?
Sure, sure.
Among the applied psychology, which do you think is the hardest psychology? The
Of
difficult
course,
psychology? Which?
which one do I prefer that I will
No,
concentrate?
it's not you prepare. Which is the most difficult or hardest psychology in the applied psychology? In the different psychology you mentioned, it's 1 to 10. Which is the most difficult psychology, do you think?
Maybe yung forensic psychology
Yes,
because
very
it
good.
deals with life sentence
Legal. It
or
deals with legal matters.
being
Yeah.
the consequence is
Correct. It's forensic. Good answer.
yes, Doc. And
Okay.
what I prefer to focus on sa applied one is the educational psychology. And yung sa basic pure psychology, I want to focus on the personality. Yan.
Okay,
That
that
was
sounds great.
interesting. Okay.
Okay, let's go to the next
So
slide.
the third question. Okay. So, by the way, I already shared this earlier that which branch of psychology the largest is the clinical psychology. Usually, these are being, ano no, vice versa. For me, I go for counseling psychology than clinical because clinical involves yung mga prescription of drugs already. So, that's would be the last resort, but it involves yung mga suicidal attempt. Yun, kaya it deals with that. Anyway, the third question is, name the 4 C's of psychology. Please interrupt me and raise your hand, if you have something to comment. So here, this is quite interesting because we are living in the world of, so many things that will maybe cause us to be tested, no, in our resiliency, in our grit. So these 4 C of mental health are set to help us how we can love ourselves and create mental toughness, which we really need in this time and age. We just came back from after pandemic. This is the endemic, and how we cope with the adjustment, adapting the new normal, things like that. So how we can have these 4 qualities that are key to successfully develop mental toughness. So these 4 C are the following: confidence, challenge, control, and commitment. As you can see here in the diagram or illustration, developing mental training, authored by psychologist Peter Plog. uh, if we have this good control of our emotion and life, this is sign of mental toughness, commitment in terms of what you want to achieve, your goal. Ay, naku, please, Hagyos, can you? Sorry for so when you say commitment, even the desire to finishing or there are difficulties
Ilagay
and
mo yung ano, ilagay mo.
our research,
Nakita yun.
it builds a lot of commitment. That's why very important when we have a research topic, we should choose the topic that will really interest us so much that when
Paano yun?
just of doing the reading of the
Ilagay mo na rin.
Ma'am, no
we will still strive, we will be still committed to finish our program, no? Challenge, how we deal with risk, overcome the risk, the factors of
Hindi
mga
naman lahat kaya.
interest, learning orientation.
Doon
And
sa inalis.
confidence, how we are confident in our ability and interpersonal confidence in how we relate with others.
Doon sa inalisan, doon nilagay.
Can I ask somebody to read? Please, Ferrer, can you read confidence, please? And challenge.
Me.
Confidence, confidence, having confidence means that you believe in yourself and that deep down, you know you can reach your goals. When you have confidence, you have solid social skills and the ability to speak in a public with a voice and communicate well with others. And challenge, in a mental health, a challenge is something that usually causes fear and avoidance. To become mentally stronger, you must welcome challenges, whether the outcome it is good or bad. A challenge teacher as a lesson, which creates an opportunity to grow and learn.
Thank you. Next, Zara. Sir Zara. Control and commitment.
Okay, control. Never waste your time complaining about the things that are out of your control. Yeah, this is very true. This coincides with your mindset, so which is tied to your confidence. You have control over your attitude and life outcomes. Even when there are missteps, continue to persevere until you reach your goals. Actually, mahirap to pero dapat ito yung ginagawa talaga natin. Pag wala kang control, wala kang control. Di ba? Kailangan.
You're at a loss.
You're at a loss. So, but you have yung sabi nga rito, you have control over your attitude.
Mm.
Pero yung situation, wala. Pero it's very hard talaga, especially if araw-araw nakikita mo at na-experience mo. Mahirap din talagang magdedma, especially
Mm.
if it involves your family and friends and your students, I think. But then commitment, so stay committed to achieving your goals. So set up specific goals and do whatever it takes to achieve them. So no matter how many setbacks you have, you push through.
So you're committed to finish your doctoral.
Yes, I am.
Yes,
That's my dream. That's
100%.
not my commitment, but my dream and goal. That's my dream.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sir Zara and Ferrer. Thank you. Talaga this 4C, I hope we can have it, no? With God's help, we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So, yung confidence, okay naman na. We are self-confident, self-reliant. Okay din yan. Self-control, but in reality, as you mentioned, no, it's difficult. That's why we need the Holy Spirit. Kasi sa Bible, no, fruit of the Spirit, one of it is self-control, which every Christian needs to continue to learn how to exercise self-control. Kasi we cannot control our surrounding, but we can control how we react or respond. Yan. So, thank you. Cecil, you want to add yung confidence, no? As I said, yes, it's okay to be to rely on our self-sufficiency, but it's good also to know that we have an Almighty God whom we can rely na
Yes.
whoever remains in Him and He also remains in us, and we will bear much fruit. We will be more blessed. Not more. Yeah, we're already blessed as a child of God, but when we depend on Him, we will bear much fruit pa. No, that last.
Yes, ma'am.
And what else? What's the other C?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
May I
ma'am.
add lang, ma'am,
Amen.
yung
no,
may I add lang
yes,
po yung the most
confidence.
important is when the first reaction, that's the most crucial one. When you're dealing with the situation, the first reaction is the most crucial one.
Why
Lalo
crucial?
lalo na pag yung perception mo yun agad, yung minsan crucial yun yung wrong perception, the wrong perception. Minsan may galit ka agad eh. So you have to think first before you act on something. Napaka-crucial. Kasi pag na ano ka na, nasabi mo na, pag nag-react ka na, nag-react ka na. So you have to step back, inhale, then think.
Exhale.
When you decide for something, which comes ahead? Your consciousness or your ethics? Which one?
I think wait. That's your ethics, of course.
So hard.
Ethics. That's very hard, but ethics comes first, I think.
Ethics ba?
For
sure?
me. That's for me.
Ideal yan, Doc. That's why
Yeah.
palagi ta remind our core values.
Core
Whatever
value.
our core values that we should walk our talk. Anyway, Quincy, you raise your hand.
Go ahead.
Ma'am, yung in relation dun sa sinabi ni Sir Sara, no, yung first reaction daw natin sa mga challenging situation, I think, yung natutunan ko is yung, di ba, we have two attitude, being proactive and reactive. So, as a human, dapat pinapractice natin na for every situation, laging proactive lang lagi tayo. Huwag tayong maging reactive para na-handle natin yung situation.
So you can have your self-control also for that reason. Di ba? Hindi ka reactive eh.
So it means how we back to perception, Doc. How we perceive, because how we perceive is very basic, no? In how we react into how we respond, whether proactive or reactive. There's a saying also that says, instead of being furious, be curious. Yes, Cecile?
Go ahead.
Ano ma'am, kasi we're still human being eh. So we cannot, control sometimes talaga. Diba? That's the nature of us eh. Pero yun nga, if we have God, yun, we bless niya tayo. for the decision na maganda muna. Yung parang bago mag-react, tama. I-practice na nga lang muna talaga natin sa sarili natin yun. No? Sometimes ganyan, ma'am, guilty kasi ako sa mga ganyan eh. Bilis ko din magdesisyon. Then right after, ay putik, mali ako, mga ganun.
And when you
Diba?
consider
And I
your
like
role,
what you have
pag,
said,
pag
ma'am.
naisip
Ganda.
mong mali ka, anong susunod na ginagawa mo?
Pag kaya ko siyang i-correct, ma'am, i-correct ko na siya agad. Pero pag hindi na, sorry na lang ako. And then accept the fact na nagawa ko yun. Ganun
Oh,
lang.
that's also good. May ano ka, you have your reason to do that. Maganda rin naman ang gagawin mo after knowing that you commit the wrong notion.
Mm.
You say sorry also. That's good.
Pero,
Sa akin man, that's the true with Ma'am Ses. So, I learned a lot from my mistake. So, personally, I have a different challenges na binigay sa akin si Lord. But the best way you do when you are committing some mistake. So, we easily get in or sinasabi natin na natatanggap agad natin siya. So kapag nag-pray ka kay Lord and then when you surrender all the things or all the burdens that you have in your life, so God will answer and then papagaanin niya yung mga nararamdaman natin. Diba? So ayun yung the best way when you pray and surrender all the things to the Lord.
I agree with you, Mr. Pipito. That sounds great.
So in short, nobody is perfect. So let's learn to fail forward. If we really committed something na we can fail, but we can rise up each time we fall. Yes, Miss Rivera?
Yes, and Madam Rivera.
Yes po. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon po, Pimentel. Opo. Kasi I just want to share yung what I have read. Sabi niya doon, di ba we deal with different people. Sometimes yung annoying people, sometimes yung hindi natin gusto, minsan yung gusto natin, di ba? We deal with different people. Pero sabi po doon sa nabasa ko, if you do not have an enemy, you don't have an enemy because every people that you meet teaches you something. Example, if you deal with an annoying person, it teaches you to be kind, to be patient. If you deal with a person na parang yung tawag dito, iba't ibang klaseng personality molds you, develops you to be more kind, to be the best part of you. Kaya lang kapag nga reactive tayo, hindi mo siya gusto, nang-aaway ka. Minsan 'di ba, we react negatively. Especially kapag in the field of education kasi education is one of the stressful field. Dealing with children, with all the tough paperwork and everything, it is really very very tawag dito, stressful. Pero if yung para sa akin yung spirituality and psychology goes hand in hand. Kapag malalim yung yung faith mo at saka meron ka talagang communication with God, you learn to see things differently. Hindi ka nagiging mas reactive. Yun lang po.
That's a good explanation, no? It sounds great. Tama yan, nangyayari yan sinasabi mo, Miss Rivera.
Thank you po, Doc.
And sabi nga ni Catherine, walang perfect.
Yes, tama yan. Can I add, ma'am?
Yes, sure.
Sabi ni Ma'am Catherine, nobody is perfect daw. Based on my reading and through experiences din. Okay, so sabi dito daw ay imperfections. Nobody is perfect acknowledges the inherent imperfections and limitations that exist in every individual. So it conveys the idea that all people have flaws, di ba? Hindi naman tayo perfect, di ba? Lahat tayo may mga kanya-kanyang flaws. Make mistakes, experience shortcomings in various aspects of our lives. So yung statement na yun, it's a reminder that perfection is unrealistic standards to aspire to, and that it is natural lang sa atin as people, as person, to have areas where where sometimes we fall short or make errors. So embrace natin yan. That's embracing this reality can foster self-acceptance, humility, understanding in both oneself and others. So yung statement na the body is perfect, it emphasizes the importance of compassion, empathy, and forgiveness in interpersonal relationships and interactions. So recognizing and accepting imperfection is in oneself and others can lead to healthier and more realistic expectations, promoting mutual respect and empathy in relationship. O, di ba? Parang ganda pakinggan mo man, no? Yung ganun statement. Baka na ganda. Pero minsan, di ba, parang hindi naman natin talaga na-apply. Siyempre, tao lang din tayo. Kaya nasasabi na no one is perfect talaga.
But one thing that we should not forget is to be
Yes,
is
Doc.
humility.
Yes,
That's
Doc.
one
Alam mo,
thing.
Doc, yung sinishare ko lang, habang yung based on my experience, habang tumataas yung pinag-aaralan, like in my case, ano, kasi syempre we are now in PhD, pero hindi ko siya, Doc, ina-accept na, okay, ang taas-taas ko na, hindi, Doc, parang lala kong nagpapakumbaba at nagpaka-humble. Tama, Doc?
That's good.
Yes,
That's
yun
a good
matutunan ko,
idea. I
Doc.
like your idea.
Yes, Doc. Yun matutunan ko, Doc, sa mga professors na katulad po ninyo na mga excellent professors po namin even before, Doc.
Walang excellent, lahat ay pantay-pantay. Everybody is
Okay.
wala
So, thank you, Doc.
walang mabuti. Lahat tayo ay may mga kasalanan din. So ang humility will accept you in heaven. But do you believe in forever? Sige nga, tell me.
Do you know the most best example of a humble person is Jesus Christ himself. Even though he is the Son of God, he is God, he did not consider himself to be God, no? To be, but he humble himself even unto death to live among us so that we can understand how great the love of God
Yes.
for us.
Agree,
That
ma'am.
he even lived with us for 33 years and then died for our sins, no? So when we believe in him, we have eternal life. So let's humble ourselves.
And then we can have a better life on earth.
Yes. So let's humble ourselves to admit that we're not perfect. We are sinners and that we need a savior. We need Jesus in our life and that we are just temporary here. Every day we ask for forgiveness so that we don't sin. We will be sinning lesser and lesser, no? Because God is also holy God. He also wants us to be holy. And we work on that. Kasi once we become a believer or a Christian, there should be some change or transformation. The old example, Catherine has gone, the new has come. I used to be very, very, matalk back, ma-reasoning, but God's grace, God helped me to be more obedient, respectful. No, when I become a Christian, when I was 13 years old, to my parents, no, ganon. I used to be not wanting to study, teach, Doc, if you know, I am always sent outside the classroom by my teacher because I get zero, zero. I sleep in the classroom or I don't have interest in schooling, no? But when I become a Christian, parang the joy of learning na nandyan. Psychology, yes, psychology, but sometimes this transformation that you encounter when you become a Christian is something that sometimes science cannot explain. Even the miracle that you are healed from your illness, when doctor tells you na you are already need operation, like me, at age 33, I was admitted in Capital Medical Center here, 2009, October, because of coronary heart disease. I had heart attack, doc, but thankfully, by God's grace, no, God is a God of miracle. Let's believe in that. Yes, we believe in science, in medical fields, But you know, once the heart is destroyed, science says it's irreversible. That's why when I had my ECG and to the echo 2 years ago, 1 year ago, then I told the cardio, kasi she's new, she's not the cardiologist that I had before. I said, this is my history, doc. Then he showed me the result of my to the echo and siya, you know, whatever you said, I know you are not lying to me, but I show you your heart beating, yung ganyan. As in sa monitor niya, you'd have no scar. If you had heart attack or you are diagnosed with coronary heart disease, it means you should have scar in your heart. But wala. So, you know, when God heals, He heals totally. When yan. So anyway, maging sermon na to. Hindi naman, but I'm just sharing my testimony that
Okay,
sometimes,
let's have Miss Marcela.
correct po.
Miss
So,
Rivera is raising her hand.
sige.
Madam
Doc, speaking,
Rivera?
yes po, speaking of hindi ko, I cannot contain it to myself kasi the one that I experienced 3 weeks ago is I considered miracle. Kasi
Yes.
po, yes, I considered miracle. Why? Because I was riding on a jeep, and then that was 5:30 in the morning. Then
Wow.
all of a sudden, the kidnapper declared, the hold-upper declared,
Hold up.
hold up ito. Isa po na
Pila ka-
near dun sa door, yung isa po katabi ko, as in katabi ko. And
Wow.
then, sabi niya, tapos meron pong dalang patalim, nakatutok. Tapos sabi niya sa akin, Yoko, walang titingin. Sabi niya gano'n, tumingin lahat sa baba. Ako po kasi, Catholic po ako ha. I used to practice reciting the rosary while riding vehicle.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Opo. Alam niyo po, after nung mangyari yung incident na yon, pinagtawanan ako ng mga kasamahan ko. Bakit? Kasi po, first time in the history daw po na nagkaroon ng hold up na naging choosy si
Hold
hold-upper.
upper.
Kasi po, nung nilalabas na namin yung cellphone namin, wala siyang kinuha. Hindi niya type ang cellphone namin. As in, bumaba siya. Pero yung trauma na, ang nakakatakot pala yun. Pero sabi ko, it's a miracle kasi Lord, thank you po. You saved me. Mama Mary, thank you po for saving, for interceding with me. Kasi sabi ko, he has all the chance to get all our things kasi madilim po yung part na nag-declare siya ng hold up. Pero sabi ko, thank you Lord. Sabi ko, from this experience, I know that talagang walang imposible sa'yo and you are really protecting me all the way. And thank you Lord. Yun po.
That's a good talaga true story pa yan.
Amen. Oo nga,
True
no?
story
True
pa
story
yan.
naman
Nakakot
talaga
yun.
yung sinashare natin, Doc. Yeah. Amen. So, speaking about miracle, let's believe in our students who have some whatever issues our students have, special needs, walang imposible. Though the doctor will diagnose our learners, no? No more chance. Stagnant na yan, like that. But let's continue to put hope and then prayer for our students, no? I believe they will, psychology din yan, when a teacher put expectation for their kids, I know you're obedient, I know you can do this, for sure they will try their best, no, to work hard and to please us as educators. So yes, anything else before I move on? So let's have this 4C, no, so that we will have mental toughness in this challenging world. First, it's challenge, no? Whether we like it or not, we do face challenges. So that's why let's be confident and in areas na our ability and then as a Christian, let's depend, our confidence is in Christ also. Then commitment, very important, no? Let's not give up easily. If talaga, you know, this is your mission or vision in life, let's commit and finish our PhD instead. And then what's the last C? Control, no? Yes, there are things in life that we are not in control. So focus on what you can control so that the output or the consequence is positive, not react in a way that will cause negative consequence. Okay?
Okay?
Sige.
That ends the story.
Miss Marcela, do you have
Who will
something
be the
else
next
to add?
reporter on Saturday?
Wala pa ko na-finish ako report, Doc. That's number 3 question.
Haba naman ni Mama.
Ilan pa ang kailangan mo? Tapusin mo. Ilan pa?
Yes. Bilisan na lang, Doc. Until letter G yata yon.
Yeah, letter G.
So, I'm still letter C, Doc.
O,
Sige
ano pa
lang.
yung sa letter G? A
Okay.
to G, anong letter ka na?
I'm in letter C pa to. And then,
Oh,
let's
sige,
go
go
to
ahead.
letter G. Identify the 5 concepts of psychology. Wait, I make it full screen. Yan. So, the 5, wait. So, the 5 concept of psychology, biological, and then, so biology, can I ask, Kwambo, Alona, please read and one concept each. Biological, please.
Okay, so number 1 is biological. So the biological approach to psychology focuses on examining our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors from a strictly biological point of view. So in this approach, all thoughts, feelings, and behaviors would have a biological cause. So this approach is relevant to the study of psychology in 3 ways. So next to that is comparative method. So different species of animals can be studied and then compared to each other. So this helps us to better understand human behavior. So when it comes to physiology, the study of how the nervous system and hormones work, how the brain functions, and how change in the structure and or function can affect our behavior. For example, how prescribed drugs to treat depression can affect our behavior through their interaction with the nervous system.
Sige, continue, Miss Quincy. Thank you.
Investigation of inheritance. The study of what we inherit from our parents through genetics, for example, whether high intelligence is inherited from one generation to the next. Number 5, psychodynamic. This approach includes all theories in psychology that see humans functioning based on the interaction of drives and forces within the person, particularly unconscious and between the different structures of the personality. Sigmund Freud developed a collection of theories that form the basis of the psychodynamic approach. The psychodynamic approach can be best described in basic assumptions. Number 1, our behavior and feelings are powerfully affected by unconscious motives. Number 2, our behavior and feelings as adults are rooted in childhood experiences. Number 3, all behavior has a cause, and that cause is usually an unconscious one. And then number 4, personality is made of 3 parts. Hindi ko naman makita. Ano yun? Hindi ko makita.
Yes, ego, ID, and
Ego and super ego.
Yes. So, so the 5 aspects of psychology involves these 5 elements, no? Biological, comparative, psychology, physiology, investigation of inheritance, and psychodynamic that involves mga subconscious din. So, yung mga fears, mga violent motives, are these ones are the unconscious level that you're not probably in control, pero they are there. So if you have this, you just learn how you will overcome fears, all this violent behavior through your rational thinking na, or
Okay,
how you can
go to the next slide, Catherine.
Okay, sige. Number 5, enumerate the 7 schools of psychology. So there's are the main school of psychology, structuralism. So isa-isahin ko to ito. But there is also other 7 major perspective of modern psychology din that involves that. Ang dami kasi, dili lang siya 7 school of psychology, Doc, based on my research. So we'll see lang. So parang I just enumerate here 10. So structuralism psychology, this is the school of thought in psychology that attempts to understand human consciousness by examining its underlying components. So to break down, yung Through this approach, it seeks to understand how these components combine and together end up forming complex psychological phenomena. This usually is compared to functionalism. So this functionalism is a study how our mind adapt to external stimuli in order to help us survive and thrive in our environment. While structuralism is the study of how our minds make meaning through our small step-by-step cognitive process. I know that's one of the school of thought in psychology. And then second is again the functional, which is emphasizing the adaptive value and purpose of mental processes and behavior. So the example here is that emotions serve functional purpose by helping individual respond to their environment. Yung you use your emotion to give you caution, like when you feel anxious, probably because there's that sense of danger. Creativity is an adaptive also function that allows us to come up with innovative solution to problem and challenges. So how we adapt to change in view of ways to survive. So that's another school of thought din sa psychology. And this just like Gestalt law of similarity. So usually when there is similar, they are grouped together. So usually if same color stick together, something like that. So it comes also with race, no? If you're Chinese, parang very close ka sa mga Chinese, there's some similarities there that you help each other, example in business, and like that. So there's also that just Gestalt law of continuity principle, wherein individual elements of visual image are aligned in such a way that suggests continuous line, they will be perceived as an integrated whole. So example, a marching band that plays during halftime of a US college football game is made up a lot of individual band members when aligned in a manner that suggests different letters, we perceive those lines as parang how to explain this, Doc? Basta a string of dots arranged consequently will lead our eyes to follow the path or the curve because it's perceived as all part of the same entity. So continuous, no? Like that. So parang when you say, oh, this is the step, this is the SOP of doing that. So you follow it. Parang you know that's part of a whole and entity. Then another just like law of proximity. The law of proximity states that individual elements that are placed close to each other are perceived as belonging to each other. Like yun. Yung maybe the proximity of family. If you know that family that lives together, they are close, ang ganon. So, clustered together, parang they are, if ever these examples, stars clustered together are seen as formation in the sky leading to their interpretation as star sign in astrology. Actually, when Jesus was born, meron niyang star, follow the star. That's why the wise men follow it. There's some meaning to that proximity. Anyway, hello. Yes, and then another one, as closure, just like principle. So usually, this principle states that human minds seek to create coherence. If presented in a stimulus such as an image that contains missing element, the mind will fill those gaps to create the perception of the completed image. Hello?
Go
Yes.
ahead.
Yan. So, these are the school of thought using just out principles or psychology. Proximity, continuity, similarity, and connectedness. Okay. So next is the behaviorism psychology, which this theory focuses on observable and measurable behavior as the basis for understanding human animal behavior. So here, in application, study rewards. Parents rewards child with candy for completing their homework. Pwede naman to, but baka masanay, no? How your comment on this, my dear co-educators? Do we always give rewards for the example complying, or they just comply because they have to? So,
Once in a while only. It's once in a while.
no? Yes.
Oo.
It also applies to animal training, especially animal, no? If they in the zoo, if they perform this, they follow the coach, then they are given fish, yung ganyan. So, training by using rewards and punishment to modify behavior. So, this is also applicable maybe for low functioning, or maybe not, I would say low functioning, even high functioning, no? Ako rin namomotivate ako when there's reward. Anyway, so behaviorists believe that this understanding of manipulating this environmental factor can change or modify behavior in predictable ways. So, ito yung ginagamit na theory sa mga behavior modification program also of mga occupational therapies. And next is the psychoanalysis. Here is a therapeutic approach and theory of mind, again developed by Sigmund Freud, that
Sigmund Freud.
emphasizes the role of unconscious in shaping behavior, thoughts, and feelings. It seeks to uncover repressed memories, desire, and trauma through techniques like free association and dream analysis. So that's why it's mentioned by Miss Rivera, no, the trauma that she experienced sa incident of being, ano na, yung robbed. Ako rin may trauma when I walk going to school. Early in the morning, going to school. My bracelet that my boyfriend that time now becomes my husband gave me, don't move, don't move. Then they took my bracelet. You know, the trauma of parang nagnam yung buong body ko. I stayed in the toilet for the whole time. I did not attend to my class. Kaya there's trauma in that kind of na merong hold up.
Situations.
I don't know. Dapat they will not do that eh. It giving a lot of negative emotion sa people that they're victim, no? So, yan. So, psychoanalysis, this is the therapeutic approach, how they can overcome this trauma, ganyan. So, meron silang there are these theories, psychosexual theory, those who have been sexually abused, ganyan, kawawa yan sila eh. Psychosocial na discriminate, so how you get over to that trauma, yan. So these are those psychology that studies and how to overcome those things. Then humanistic psychology is the perspective within psychology that emphasizes the inherent goodness of people, the importance of self-actualization, and the centrality of human experience. It focuses on individual experiences or personal growth and fulfillment of potential. So this psychology example is that people naturally wants to be successful, like self-actualization. They
Okay.
yes, and so
Chapter number
this is
6.
the process of realizing and fulfilling one's potential and capabilities. And then person-centered therapy is that this therapeutic approach is that centered on empathy and unconditional positive regard to personal growth. That's why sa mga interview, no, or sa business or whatever field, example, your student who is not motivated to study, how do you apply humanistic approach or psychology? What do you want to be when you grow up? Diba? That's usually the question. If that's his desire, then you let them write down, what do you want to become? Whatever, maybe not a profession, no? Or what they love to do lang. Oh, if you love to do this, then let's do this. So you can have that, what you are wanting to self-actualize, no? So it's more on centered on what? Centered on person-centered therapy. So we work on that desire that they have. So, yan. Okay, next. I hope you get it. Under humanistic theory of personality also, the pro
The
here,
pros and cons.
yes, Humanistic theory of personality emphasizes the individual capacity for personal growth and self-actualization, empowering individual to strive for their highest goal. Like sa mga businesses, oh, you can do that, you can achieve that, especially sa mga multi-level, no? We always encourage our downline to hit something para it can, when you help others, you are helping yourself also. But the critics argue that humanistic theory may lack empirical evidence and can be overly optimistic and overlooking the influence of external factors. So, meron din yung ganyan na side. So, let's be realistic and then still continue to encourage and motivate. Kasi wala namang, to me, I still go for being pro, then focus on the cons. Yes. Malay mo, there are many successful cases also of from construction worker na naging billionaire din because they're so motivated, no? So, don't underestimate what a person can do in spite of their background or humble background or yung environment that they grow up. Lahat
Catherine, can we consider motivation as number one? Motivation.
When you
Motivate.
say number one what?
Number one explanation for him to change.
Why not, no? As educator, we should be number one cheerleader of our students. No, let's not be like critical. Kung kailangan maging critical, very light lang for constructive criticism. But if as much as possible, let's apply biblical principle. Let's encourage one another. Let's bear each other's burden. Let's maraming one another. Love one another. Accept one another, no? Yes, Miss Rivera.
Help one another.
Yes.
Yes po. I would like to add kasi ma'am is asking about motivated ba sila kaya they rise above their condition. Ano ko lang po true to life din to. May estudyante kami na living sa sa kalye. Tapos ang ginawa po ng mga teachers, nag-add sila para makapag-aral yung bata kasi talagang wala siyang kapera-pera. Wala the parents are talagang uneducated and they have no means of raising the child. Alam niyo po, ganun siya mula grade 3 hanggang grade 6. Alam niyo po, until yung bata, parang na-motivate siya. Kasi parang, it's good pala to study. And after, I don't know, 15 years, abogado na po yung batang yun. Nakapasa siya last. Yes.
Well motivated talaga.
Abogado po siya. Itong last bar exam, pumasa siya. Tinan niyo, from very poor child, yung ano po, nangangalakal.
Talagang in God's time, things will be true.
Yes po.
Oo.
Wow, thank you for that true to life story. Ang ganda, no? Hearing this kind of story makes our hearts so glad.
Nice to hear.
Yeah. Yes, truly. Let's continue to apply this theory in a positive light na we can continue to inspire our students to reach their highest potential, no?
Okay.
Then there's cognitive psychology. This term cognition refers to all processes by which sensory input is transformed, reduced, elaborated, recovered, and used. So, cognitive psychology is a scientific study of mental processes, how you understand people, store knowledge, recall memory, and acquire knowledge or use language. So these theories, cognitive theory or psychology applies to learning theories also because how they acquire knowledge or retain, how they best learn. So learning theory is also is behavioralism, which focus on observable, measurable behavior. This theory suggests that learning occurs through reinforcement and punishment. So may konting behavioralism din in applying this cognitive psychology learning theory. Naga-intertwine siya, no? So for example, like I said earlier, when a teacher praise the students for his good grades or behavior in class, they will reinforce it. And that's what Dr. Jose Rizal also says. If you praise a student or a child, for sure they will continue to do it. No? Yan. Cognitive, it's also can be coined as cognitive learning. You combine learning with the cognitive theory, no? So yan. Can I ask help from Cecil? Please read this one.
Ay,
Cognitive learning definition. Cognitive learning is the process through which individuals gain knowledge and understanding through thought, experience, and senses. It emphasizes the role of mental processes in acquiring and organizing knowledge. This approach focuses on the active involvement of the learner in the learning process. Examples: problem
problem
solving,
solving.
tackling challenges by applying knowledge and critical thinking. While in
Concept
concept
mapping.
mapping, you have the visually organizing and representing relationships between ideas and
Hypothesis.
hypothesizing, making educated guess based on prior knowledge and observations.
Yes. So there is what you call learning by discovery. Ang ganda. That's like problem solving skills, no? That we train our kids how we present our lesson that utilize their higher order thinking skills. So tracking challenges, applying parang you give them something, then they will solve it like that. So concept mapping is also nice way of learning. Then the visually organizing, like when you talk about a topic, how you connect things, no? Mind
When one over
mapping
the other.
could be concept mapping, different terminology, but it's like mind mapping also.
Okay.
Hypo,
Hypothesis.
hypothesizing,
Hypothesizing.
making educated guess based on prior knowledge. So yun,
It's
how
more
you
on guesses.
parang this applies to research din, di ba? When we do our research, we also put hypothesis. So what you expect the outcome, pero as you go with your studies and research, does it coincide with what your hypothesis is, or you reach a different outcome? So yun,
Observation follows.
yeah. Yan. One of ways to learn also is through observation. Kasi there's also behavioralism also involves observing, no? What you observe, what you see, people, our students follow or our children follow. So be careful how you live your life because many are caught than taught. So yon. Yan. So let's move on pa. And if you have something to add, please raise your hand, ha? Kasi I oversee ko. So, it also involves social cognitive theory, how this cognitivism theory applies socially din, no? By Albert Bandura. This is what Ma'am said, observation. So, Albert Bandura also is a learning theory that emphasizes the role of observational learning. So, cognitive processes and social experiences, it's determining behavior. So, central to this theory is the concept of reciprocal determinism or mutual interaction between an individual behavior, personal factors, and environmental influencer. That's why there's some poem, no? If a child lives in hostility, he learns to be hostile, like that. If the child lives in a peaceful environment, so he learns to be a peacemaker din, ganon. Basta, the be careful who your friends are, di ba? Because you become like them. So if your friends are smokers or gamblers,
Tell me, parang tell me who your friends are and I will tell you who you are. Parang ganun ma.
yes. So whereas same feather flock together, Gestalt naman yan na theory, no? Na similarity. So anyway, basta this psychology, we can take it a grain of salt and that we can also see what we can apply best to us, no? Yan. Say, what's else? Continue ko ha, number 8. Actually, 7 school of thought, pero I don't know, based on the research, naging 11 or 10. Biological psychology, I think we also mentioned this in the concept of psychology. So this is also a branch of psychology that investigate biological and psychological process that underline behavior and mental processes. So,
Ito examine.
help me. na ako ang voice. Sige, Miss Lisel, ikaw naman to. Continue.
Biological psychology. Definition. Biological psychology is a branch of psychology that investigates the biological and physiological processes that underlie behavior and mental
processes.
It examines the relationship between the brain and behavior as well as the genetic, biochemical, and neural basis of human and animal behavior. Examples: the study of the neurobiological basis of depression and the development of antidepressant drugs that target specific neurotransmitter systems, the study of the role of genetics in the development of psychological disorders such as schizophrenia and
Schizophrenia.
what's the pronunciation, Doc?
Schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia and the identification of potential genetic
markers. Okay, thank you. So, this psychology also deals with some genetic, baka who you some issues on this, but depends, no? Kasi, sa Christian Lingkod,
Wala
as
na.
if you can cut the generational curse
Lumadalo siya.
ganyan sa family, gambler, or ano, ganyan na disease, you pray for it to be cut from your generation onwards. You can have that kind of authority to ask, or you can pray, no? There's nothing impossible. Prayer works wonders. Be careful what you pray, because what you ask, you shall receive. So, biological psychology could be hereditary like that. Now, oh, your parents has these illnesses, has mental illnesses. You have the possibility to be like that. So,
Mental disorder.
but we can cut that, Doc. There's nothing impossible. We believe in miracles na pwede yan hindi pass down to you. No, kaya natin. With God's help, we can don't apply this psychology to us. Yes. Anyway, I'm speaking my mind out lang. Cultural psychology. Okay. Explores how cultural factors influence individuals'
Alam ko
cognitive
siguro to.
attitude towards others and values. So your culture really can influence you a lot in a way. Example, American culture, Japanese, Korean, like that, they have different culture, no? So this subfield of psychology that examine how cultural factors shapes human behavior, cognition, and emotion. So this study of how cultural meanings, practices, institution influence and reflects behavioral human psychology. So cultural psychologists might study how different culture express emotion. Like for example, Chinese culture, no? But I think I'm not Chinese anymore. I'm very much of a Filipino in a way. Because Chinese are not expressive, though. Kanang they just, I love you, but it's in the heart, in the heart. They don't express. Pero ako, I want affirmation. I want touch. So I always tell my husband, I ask him pa, do you love me? Please say it. So different culture, no? Sometimes, basta, I also watch Bruce Lee, no? He's also very into, Chinese talaga siya, nationalist, very nationalistic person na Chinese Kung Fu like that, they are putting so much importance on trust, integrity, yung gano'n na, yan. So, I just watch his life story kasi the legend of Bruce Lee. Anyway, how he relate with, kasi he lives in America for a time being also. So, how he interact with people at first, ang others, no, doesn't give everything they want, but he gives. So anyway, culture really affects how our personality are shaped as well. Our emotion, our parenting styles, how Chinese parent their kids, no? Are they permissive? There are also cultural influences there that impacts a child's development. So, their level of independence, critical thinking. Like for example, sa America, 18 years old, pwede na live outside. As much as possible for us, Chinese, we want as close-knit as possible, no? We just send you off pag married na, ganyan. Anyway, sa mana, example, Chinese sometimes if Chinese na traditional Chinese talaga, they don't give much mana or walang share ang mga babae sa more on boys sa mga son. Anyway, that's it. So cultural psychology, the influence of culture to our way of doing things, no? So lastly, evolutionary psychology. Can I ask, sino pa hindi ko na, Miss Rivera, please read this one. Evolutionary psychology, are you there? Aims to understand how thoughts, action, and behavior are shaped by evolutionary forces. It proposes that the human brain and mind have developed in ways that were evolutionary advantageous to our ancestor. So this psychology suggests that individuals have innate preferences for certain traits in potential mates. Men may prefer women who have signs of youth like that, and women may prefer men who have high status or resources. Or if your ancestors or your family line prefer, oh, you marry Chinese, ha, or you marry American like that. So they have preferences. Yan. So that's evolutionary, how it evolves from one generation to another generation, or yes. Yan. So next, what is the introduction of psychology? This is second to the last question. So it also could be history of psychology, introduction of psychology. So can I ask Miss Rivera, are you there na? Wala. Oh, ano lang.
Yes po, I'm here.
Yes, this one.
Ma'am, am I going to read? Ma'am?
Yes po. Yeah. Pa-help
Okay.
ako.
Sige po. Some of the contributors of psychology were as follows. Wilhelm Wundt.
Wait. Where are you reading? What is the introduction of psychology?
Ayan, yan pa lang po.
Okay.
Ay, ayan na, nabago po yung screen. Some po ba?
APA.
Some of the contributors, yan po ba? Babasahin.
Yeah. Oo, yun ma'am.
Apo.
Ha? Bakit ganun? Iba yung nandito. Wait. Is this the one you're seeing? Letter F? What is
Yes
the
po,
introduction?
now. Yes po. Ma'am, nabago ulit. Some of the contributors na. Nababago po siya.
Bakit
Nachi-change.
ganun, no? Wait.
Napagod na, ma'am, yung computer mo.
Ako na lang po magre-read po. Ako na lang.
There's magic
Okay,
in you.
please read.
Ako na lang po, ma'am, Sarah.
Sige po.
Yes.
Ma'am, okay. What is the introduction of psychology? So before 1870, psychology was not a separate discipline. Rather, it was studied under philosophy.
1870.
That's 1870. So 1870 nasa under pa siya ng philosophy. Then some of the contributors of psychology were as follows. Wilhelm Wundt in 1879 opened the first experimental laboratory in psychology at the University of Leipzig, Germany. He is considered the father of psychology. Okay. Next one is APA, the American Psychological Association. So it was established in 1892, and it is founded by G. Stanley Hall. And then in 1896, John Dewey and William James supported the functionalism on psychology. In 1896, Sigmund Freud developed the theory of psychoanalysis based on this therapy. Later on, he developed the therapy of free association and dream analysis.
Continue, ha?
Yeah, so in 1905, IQ test was developed by Alfred Binet and Theodore Simon. So 1913, John B. Watson supported the behavioral aspects of psychology. In 1921, Swiss psychiatrist Hermann Rorschach devised a personality test based on patients' interpretations on ink blots, which is named as Rorschach. I hope Rorschach ink blot test. So in 1921, a Nobel Prize for Psychological Research was given to Charles A. Frederick Menninger. So in 1921, Ivan Pavlov developed the theory of classical conditioning through an experimental approach. 1935, Gestalt psychology came into existence, and B.F. propose a theory of operant conditioning.
Yes, thank you, ha. So that's the history or introduction of psychology, how what we are studying now. So that's how it evolved. And now, lastly but not the least, what is psychology in one word? Can I ask you, based from what we are sharing, to you, what is psychology in one word? I think also I have my own answer at the end. But to you, if you have something in mind, please type in the chat box so I can read, ha. So let's read some of the quotation of famous psychologists also in practice. What are their quotation, no? Probably Mahatma Gandhi, I don't know. Kasi in any way, ha, all of us are psychologists in one way or the other kasi we judge people, we perceive, we have our own subjective observation or perception. So according to Mahatma, nobody can hurt me without my permission. So there's something to do with how you are reacting or how you are absorbing people's judgment. A vigorous 5-mile walk will do more good for a person who is unhappy but otherwise healthy adult than ulit, a vigorous 5-mile walk will do more good for an unhappy but
But
otherwise healthy
otherwise,
adult than all the medicine and psychology in
in
the
the
world.
world.
So, what is your take on that? Important yung walking, reflecting, meditating, like that. The purpose of psychology is to give us a completely different idea of the things we know best. Mm. The aim of positive psychology is to catalyze a change in psychology from a preoccupation only with repairing the worst things in life and to also building the best qualities in life. So, how you think, what is their saying? What is your one word that it's like for you? What is that thing that describes psychology in one word? Anyone who
Psych.
wants to know the human psyche will learn next to nothing from experimental psychology. He would be better advised to abandon exact science, put away his scholarly or scholar gown, bid farewell to his study, and wander with human heart through the world. Carl Jung. So sometimes we don't use a lot of, sometimes what we learn ng mga theories, ano ba, we put away to interpret our human heart. We need the human heart there. I like this also what Albert Einstein said, the intuitive mind is a sacred gift. Intuition, we seldom use this. The rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant, which is the rational mind, and has forgotten the gift, which is the intuitive mind. So what is psychology in one word? We end
Psych.
with this. Huh? What is your
Psych.
insight?
Psych. Yeah.
Kayo, Rivera?
Psych.
Everybody share your own thoughts. What is psychology?
Behavior. Behavior which is affected by how your mind perceives things.
So behavior, insight, ano pa?
Complexity.
Complexity. Sino pa?
Psych.
Ha?
Psych.
Psych. Okay, you can also type in the chat box, kung ano, para marinig ko
Yeah.
maayos.
Yeah, we did already, ma'am. We did. So,
Asa man? Teka, ha?
chat.
Okay, soul, broad, magical. Wow. Okay. Wala tayo pare-pareho, no? Mine, you want to know mine? I also asked my son. My son said, Enko, what is psychology in one word? Because he used to, now he's taking up medicine, human biology, pero he used to want to become a psychology. So he said brain. But anyway, mine is reflection. Kasi, di ba, parang, ewan ko, that's how I see psychology in one word. It needs a lot of reflection in order to come up with something that ano to your life that is helpful to what you can. Scientific. Okay, yes. Okay, that ends my report. But anyway, sige na lang to. Wala na to. Okay. Thank you for your participation.
Thank you also for the presentation. And Mr. Pepito will be the next on